Look at the size of this thing compared to my old one. Hey guys and gals, welcome to Garage Gear. I'm JB. This is the Echo RB60 broadcast lawn spreader. This spreader teeters a fine line between homeowner and professional, but doesn't deliver the coverage that you can count on. Just so we're clear here, this video is not sponsored. I purchased this spreader with my own money, so you know you're getting an honest review. Let's dive right in here. Here we go. Whoa. Okay, right off the bat, this thing looks to be pretty much assembled for us. I think this whole thing's gonna come out as one piece. Yep, not too bad. Just like that. Let's get this guy open. We're gonna need these handlebar knobs. Handlebar knob, handlebar knob. And here is our manual. So on the end of our handlebars, we have one hole here and one hole here. Pretty simple. All right, let's mount this bad boy. There's a square slot for this bolt on the backside. Stay put. Notice I'm using my chin here. When we tighten this down, everything will kind of clamp together. First handlebar bolt getting tightened down. Now I can let go, that's good. I'm just gonna come around to the other side. Come on, there we go. I'll tell you what, that is a serious amount of tension on these upper parts of these handlebars. That is pretty tight. Clamp that baby down, good. That went together super fast. That took like 2 minutes. I can tell you right off the bat, this thing feels really beefy in your hands. Now, in the past, I've seen some other spreaders that were kind of complicated to put together, and this one didn't take any time at all. And to help put this video together with the YouTube algorithm, would you mind hitting that like button? Thank you. Now that she's fully assembled, let's get into the details. First off, the hopper has a 60-pound capacity. For some odd reason, it reminds me of a pumpkin bowl you put candy in on Halloween. It's capable of spreading 25,000 square feet of material, and that's gonna round out to about a half an acre of coverage. The 60-pound hopper allows you to cover more surface area, so that way you don't have to keep coming back to the garage to reload all the time, like you would have to do with smaller spreaders. Now couple that 60-pound hopper up top with an 8-foot wide spread pattern or swath coming out of the bottom. This gives you an expanded coverage with every pass. Ultimately, this reduces the amount of time it takes you to fertilize your entire lawn. Better not tell the garage gal you're done earlier, she'll add to your honey-do list. Right, now let's pop this guy back. This spreader rides on 10-inch pneumatic tires. Compared to plastic wheels, this makes the ride a whole heck of a lot smoother. When you have hard plastic wheels, what ends up happening when you hit bumps is the spread pattern will kind of jostle up and down, maybe get a little narrower, maybe a little wider. But when you have tires like these, it keeps your ride smoother, so your spread pattern stays more consistent. The manual recommends filling them to 15 PSI. Time to fill them up. Feel like they got something in them now. In between each of these wannabe monster truck tires is a heavy-duty gear case. The RB60 comes with a commercial powder-coated T-handle frame. The handles themselves are a bit wider apart compared to other models, and this is gonna make the unit a lot easier to steer and control. Now, according to Echo, it comes with a heavy-duty agitator to help keep product flowing through the hopper. I'll have some more info on this later. And the side deflector here drops down. This gives you your side spread control. This allows you to lay down that definitive domination line between you and your neighbor's lawn. Here's some other quick facts about this RB60 spreader. According to the Echo website, the dry weight of this entire unit is 23 pounds. The hopper height is 10.5 inches. The handle length is 32 inches. And the warranty on this unit is 5 years at the consumer level and 90 days at the commercial level. So how do we operate this spreader? Well, let's get a basic look here. This here is your actuator handle, and all the business starts here. Pretty simple. I pull on the lever and the gate opens up. The agitator will then knock the product down through the openings, and the impeller on the bottom spins and throws the product out in front of you. Now let me show you how the mechanism works. There's 2 plates here. The one here on the top controls the gate at the bottom of the bucket, and the one here on the bottom controls your flow rate. When you pull on the actuator lever, what happens is this gate will open up here, and this spring here will retract it back into place. Now, how do we control the flow rate? Well, we're gonna tip it back up, and we're gonna spin it around. This here is your gate adjuster lever. Pretty simple, push it down and set it to the precise spreader setting that you need. If I set it all the way here to the lowest setting, you can see that the gate only opens up so much. If I set it to a wide setting, you can see that the gates open up a lot wider, allowing more material to pass through. And for comparisons between other spreaders you may have used in the past, for example, Scott's or Earthway, there's this chart on the back of the unit to help you out. Super helpful. All right, enough talking. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go spread some fertilizer. Now, in case you're wondering what fertilizer I'm using purely organic lawn food. You can usually find it at Home Depot, and I'll have it linked down below in the description along with the spreader. Anytime I use a brand new spreader, I like to throw down an organic fertilizer. Organic fertilizers are dummy proof, and since I'm not fully accustomed to this new spreader yet, throwing down this fertilizer will be drama free. You can overspread it and it won't harm your lawn. This is some of my favorite organic fertilizer to throw down, and in about 2 weeks, the lawn will be a rich dark green color. Now here's what I like about this Echo RB60 spreader. First off, it shoots a nice wide consistent spread. It has a nice smooth ride with the bigger tires, and I can fit a lot of product in the hopper. In most cases, it can fit an entire bag and still have room for more. And I'll go back less often to the garage to refill, which is kind of nice. I can just keep on rolling. Now, I use my lawn spreader for multiple applications through the lawn season. And I can easily say that this unit is great for throwing down fertilizer, putting down weed pre-emergence, pesticides, and even overseeding. But there is one feature on this spreader that is probably my absolute favorite. Right here, the chart on the back. This is such a simple feature that I don't really see on many other spreaders. If you're coming from one spreader to this model, it takes the guesswork out of figuring out what setting you're gonna need. I've always tracked my spreader settings on a chart on my phone. I've used Scott spreaders before, I've used Earthway, and now I can easily carry those numbers over to this spreader. Whoever thought of this over at Echo is absolutely brilliant. Now here's what grinds my gears with this RB60. Right off the bat, I learned that I had to hold this spreader up a bit. I kept dragging the legs into the turf, and I was kind of wondering why the unit was dragging a little bit, and then I looked down and it was leaving ruts. The support legs are about 1 inch too long. Not usually something people complain about. Listen, I'm 5'9", and it's clearly evident that this spreader was developed by somebody who's over 6 feet tall. Perhaps this is something that can be modified, they're just a bit too long. Next, the side spread control does not decrease the flow rate. The flow rate remains the same all the time, and it just diverts it directly down. This could lead to putting too much product down. Let me explain. Okay, let's say this is your property. And let's say you just made a pass with your side spread control flap down and you dumped all that fertilizer on the border like this. This spreader does not reduce the flow rate, meaning it doesn't cut off one of the holes, lowering the rate of the fertilizer coming out of the spreader. So you're getting the full boat of the fertilizer along the perimeter. But when you go to make your passes later on, when you go across your lawn vertically or horizontally, what ends up happening is you shoot more fertilizer into this area down here that you already previously hit with your side spread control on. So what does this all mean? Well, it means you're dumping more fertilizer into an area that you already previously hit. Now you could try to guess it and cut the fertilizer off, letting go of the actuator lever prior to hitting that zone that you previously hit, but that kind of complicates things. It's not always clearly visible to see where you spread around your perimeter. This is not something that's exactly a big deal. It's just something to think about. Other spreaders do reduce the flow rate by cutting off one of the gate holes. Next, the agitator is too small, and it seems just a bit too high. So as you start to get to the bottom of the hopper, the agitator really doesn't do a great job getting all the rest of the material out. Perhaps again, this could be something that we end up modifying down the road. Product kind of lingers around inside the hopper, doesn't really make its way to the gate. This seems to happen with every spreader to some extent, but it seems to happen more with this one. So you kind of end up doing this bump and grind motion as the hopper starts to get low. Hey, if you got to bump and grind, whatever you got to do to get the product out. Well, some subscribers here on the channel have mentioned the following about this spreader. First off, they mentioned the spreader setting gauge moving while you're using it on your lawn. I purposely hit it on a few hard bumps along the way to see if it would move, and I can safely say that it did not. For my fertilizer, I set it to 5.5 and it stayed there the entire time. One other thing was product getting stuck between the plates. Organic fertilizers can get a little clumpy and sometimes the agitator doesn't do a great job breaking them down. Some pellets can end up jamming between the plates, and pulling hard on the cable like this can usually free things up. I didn't see this happen, but it's something to keep an eye out for. Overall, this spreader is a nice step up from the Scott spreaders that you normally see at the big box stores. If you are someone that uses your spreader a lot for multiple applications throughout the season, and you're looking for something durable and reliable, then this is definitely a spreader you need to have on your list to check out. And be sure to check out my lawn fertilizing program that I did a while back when I first started the channel. I'll have that linked down below in the description. For more cool garage gear content, click or tap the screen right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the garage.